shout out to FiggmunityWorld. The West Coast is really coming together. Let's talk about it.
Yo, Polly Rob, what up?
Tell them what happened, AD.
Breaking news, man. Hit the horn. Figgmunity Radio, Power 106, this Sunday. I repeat, Figgmunity Radio on Power 106 this Sunday. Congratulations to all the guys.
Yeah, clap it up for that.
Congratulations, Bud. Congratulations, T-Rail. Congratulations, AD.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Heather. And that's it.
Now, before we get into this update, let me tell you a quick little story. A couple of years back, on the West Coast, if anybody has been an artist, producer, A&R, label owner, label mate, you remember there was a time where the West Coast wasn't really getting represented the right way. Let me explain. There were labels that wouldn't sign West Coast artists because they felt like that they were a liability. There were websites and, places where you go get interviews and talk about your album, radio. There were places like that that wouldn't necessarily take on West Coast artists because, once again, they felt like there was either a liability or they portrayed something that wasn't conducive to the culture. Even, music-wise on the radio, trying to get your music played on the radio as a West Coast artist, it was very difficult because, they felt like the West Coast sound, quote unquote, wasn't the sound that was conducive to popular music or good music. They felt like it was a very regional sound, and for whatever reason, they just wouldn't promote it. They wouldn't give people a chance. I think in this time, the only person that they really gave a chance was like The Game, and it was because he was backed by Dr. Dre. Hence, the New West movement, a lot of different artists like Glasses Malone, Mike Stroh, Rocket. There were a lot of different artists that were trying to come from the New West movement. It was a lot difficult, a lot of difficulty in trying to just become a dope artist on the West Coast. Then everything kind of just opened up, artists like Problem, artists like New Boys, Cali Swag District, Ty Dolla $ign, YG. There was a time where, the Ratchet movement, or I would just say the West Coast movement in general, gave the West Coast another shot at being able to get signed, being able to get played on the radio. There were, DJs like DJ Charisma, DJ Head, DJ Mark the Spot, DJ Mike Smooth. I can go on and on and on of DJs that would be playing West Coast music in the streets, in the clubs, and then it trickled over into them being a part of the radio stations, the Power 106s, the Real 92.3, even the KJLHs of radio. And it just opened up this entire movement of new West Coast artists, even legendary West Coast artists, being able to get a shot. And then, of course, you hear, TDE, Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, J-Rock, you know what I mean? And now, this year, in the years to come, the West Coast is wide open. There's so many opportunities for things to happen for West Coast artists, which I love. And I wanted to explain that to talk about what we're talking about now, which is a platform like FiggmunityWorld, which consists of AD, Duno, Ace Boy Pun, T-Rail, S-Mac, and so many others. They've gotten a chance to be a part of the West Coast culture in terms of being able to be on the radio. This is a company that are streamers, that are bloggers, that are influencers in our culture. And now they have an opportunity and a deal with Power 106 to have their own radio show, which starts on Sundays at 6 p.m. They're on the radio now, and I love this because this is what it should be. It should be the influencers and the creators that have built themselves from the ground level up being able to get these type of opportunities because they are the culture. They talk about the things that's relevant, on the West Coast, and not just that, in music in general. You know what I mean? They have the insight on who's hot and who's not. And, Power 106, FiggmunityWorld has just put together a deal for FiggmunityWorld to be on the radio. And I think that that's so phenomenal. I'm so proud of everybody at FiggmunityWorld. They've built their platform, from just being streamers and just being bloggers to now being official influencers of the culture. When you come to the West Coast, you have to pass through FiggmunityWorld. You have to get back on Fig. You have to, chop it up on AD's show. You got to go on Ace Boy Pun and the whole team over there. You know what I mean? You got to go through these shows to show that you're campaigning for whatever it is that you're doing with your music or with a movie or whatever you have going. You know what I mean? And we need a lot more of this. This entire 2024, we jumped into the new year, but let's just talk about the 2024. Kendrick the Pop Out. There's a lot of West Coast albums coming out. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Dog Pound dropped the album. The East Siders dropped the album. Jay Worthy dropped the album. Larry June released some projects. There's so many different things that's coming from the West Coast. And, even the platforms that we now have now, you know what I'm saying? The Rich Trappers, the FiggmunityWorlds, the Back on Figs, the MacWop TVs. We have so many different platforms that we can, pretty much create our own network of things that we need to do to keep ourselves afloat. I remember the days of the blogs, you know what I mean? I think the blogs are coming back stronger now. You know what I mean? We need more internet radio stations. Like, this is just the beginning of what I feel like the West Coast can create their own chitlin circuit on top of all of the major platforms, like the Complexes of the world and things like that. We have the ability to create a chitlin circuit to help our artists and to help our musicians, get more exposure for the things that we have going. You know what I mean? And I'm so proud of AD. AD is a very good friend of mine. You know what I mean? Every time we talk, I always tell him, like, I have this, this thing with him where I always tell him a percentage of how much he's gone up. And, like right now, it's like he's only exercising about 50 or 60% of what he can truly do. Like, I don't think y'all realize how phenomenal of an artist, how phenomenal of a influencer AD really is, and it's only getting better. It's only getting better. You know what I mean? So this radio venture is phenomenal. I think it's beautiful. I think it's what Power 106 needs. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but I think that they've been catching up to what the industry is doing for the past couple of years, and this situation right here is a perfect situation to bring, some guys and girls who are really a part of the culture to be able to work with them hand in hand and just really, really bring the West Coast full circle. On top of that, like, the characters that is a part of FiggmunityWorld is going to keep the radio refreshing. You know what I mean? I think the last couple of radio entities that are still at Power 106 and also at Real 92.3, like, they've been holding on for years trying to keep, these radio platforms going. And I think FiggmunityWorld is very, very refreshing to radio, to listen to them, you know, while you're driving, going to work, while you're driving to, you know, to go out. You know what I mean? I think that these are refreshing voices to listen to. You know what I mean? And I think that that's phenomenal. You know what I mean? And I want y'all to let me know what y'all feel about this whole venture. You know what I'm saying? What do y'all feel about FiggmunityWorld being on Power 106? You know what I'm saying? Do you think it's something that's good for the culture? Do you think something else should be happening instead of that? Let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? And I wish everybody a happy new year. We got a lot more things to do. I got a lot more content. And, man, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? But let me know what y'all think about FiggmunityWorld and Power 106. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. I'm in the comments. Let's get it. Workload.